All right, boys. Another day, another content from AniNews. AniNews has finally dropped once again. Today, we have the case of Subaru Natsuki's murder. Oh boy. Let's go.
Welcome to the case of Subaru Natsuki's murder,
Hmm.
an intriguing story declared so by Subaru himself. If Subaru was and wasn't the one who killed the victim, then could the Subaru we see be the one held accountable for it? Well,
Hmm.
that's an answer Subaru didn't want to find out, leading to the increasingly frustrating series of events we saw in the anime. The thing is, where normally a lot of these situations could be fixed by return by death, I'm not so sure what happened this episode can.
Hmm. And the crazy thing about this is that it's kind of, I think Gluttony's doing this on purpose, right? This can't really be solved by with return by death because I mean, in the first place, I don't think they're actually trying to kill him. They're trying. I think like like what I said in the Ekinut video, like I think they're trying to tear him apart from the inside and destroy him mentally. Right? He already has no memories, and now they're like trying to like play with him and just like pretty much make him like lose it completely. Because technically, they have the memories, so they know he has return by death, and obviously you can't kill him forever. Technically, he can never like be gone forever. So you're just like, all right, let's have some content and just fuck him over.
This is because within Subaru there now exists three personalities, two
Hmm.
supposedly his own, then the very essence of Meili making for the third. So even if Subaru was to die and reset, I don't know if return by death is enough to clear those personalities out. What I do know though is that it's very interesting to see the way all these personalities interact with each other. Especially Meili, who in the novel has quite a few more secrets revealed about her.
Mm.
So, if you're interested in that or the deeper lore behind Subaru's schizophrenia, here's everything the anime left out from this episode.
Okay,
Let's get started.
let's go.
Episode 76, Murder is a Habit, covering chapters 4 and 5 from volume 23 of the light novel. After seeing Meili's lifeless body right in front of him, Subaru would try everything he could possibly remember from all the TV he'd watched.
Hmm.
First it was CPR, then after it was an endless cycle of rescue breathing.
Wait, did he learn CPR from like TV, or did he actually get trained?
Again and again, he would alternate both in hopes of bringing Meili back. Once he
Okay.
realized he couldn't, again, Subaru would vomit everything he'd just eaten for breakfast.
Oh.
Unlike how last time he'd gotten it all over Shala though, this time he was able to just barely avoid Meili.
Mm.
At this point, all Subaru could think was of how all he's done was vomit, but really those were just pointless thoughts intended to mask his heart from the terrible tragedy in front of him. It was before Subaru would notice the writing carved into him that he would first notice the tools which had done it. You see, after looking at his hands, he would notice blood and flesh underneath his fingernails.
Hmm.
Just like Meili, he too had been scratching at something. That's when he'd discover his arm, a difficult to accept reality that sent Subaru into a frenzy. In
Yes.
fact, the reason he slammed his arm the way he did is because it was the only thing he could do to keep this terrifying piece of himself away from him.
And bro, this shit is fucking horrible. Because like, dude, it's literally Gluttony. Gluttony's just playing fucking games, bro. Like, he's like tapping in, like in and out of like the Gluttony personality, or like just Gluttony in general. Like, how? Okay, my thing is, how do they? How does this? Like, I still don't like. How does this fucking work? Like, obviously, we know how like they have like teleportation, which I get. Like, we could assume they like learned it because they just ate someone that maybe had teleportation, right? Like, did they eat someone that also has the power to like kind of like channel their consciousness like deep within Subaru? Like, how does that fucking work? You know what I mean? Like, they eat memories, right? The name and the memories, right? We knew that, but like now they're like residing within Subaru. Like that's fucking crazy.
If he was able to cut his arm off here, then he probably would have.
Oh.
So, as Subaru wondered whether this Subaru Natsuki was the name of an incomprehensible elder god monster,
Mhm.
Subaru's suspicions of his old self would only be confirmed. From his trust with the others to the secret with Aridina, all that seemed impossible for the Subaru who'd just come out of the convenience store. To
Mhm.
him, it was actually more believable that someone was instead posing as him. There was no mistaking that this handwriting did in fact match his own though, so the person who wrote this message was undeniably him.
Yes, and bro. he is literally having like, bro, how many like mental like how many problems is he having right now, bro? Like identity crisis, PTSD, like what personality disorder, bro? Like how, bro? He's going through it right now. Like this is like, and then on top of that, the fact that like yeah, self harm, like holy shit, like, and he's going through all this because he just got thrown into literally level 100, bro. He got thrown into the final boss, bro.
Or at least a version of him.
And yeah, and then on top of that, he's also like having like doubts about who he is and who Natsuki Subaru truly is.
New Subaru could only assume it was old Subaru taking his body back, leaving new Subaru wondering who he was then. It was a terrible thing not knowing who was friend and who was foe, and it was even more terrible that he could no longer trust even himself now. New Subaru wasn't gonna let himself be manipulated though, so now he needed to find a way to get out of this. He wasn't sure how trials worked in this world, but considering the proof etched into his arms and the proof pressed into Meili's neck, Subaru knew any jury would find him guilty.
Mhm.
That's why he decided to hide the body, since until he knew a way to protect himself, this was the only thing he could do.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna convince himself what he was doing was right, but at the very least, he found it necessary.
I mean, it's like he may not think it's right, but like in the moment, he kind of had to do it. And then, to be honest, like it's just interesting to see like what's gonna happen, right? Because it's either like, obviously from what we can assume that Shala like hit the body, but like Ram obviously knows what the fuck happened, and like he's like an imposter, right? Like she caught him venting, so it's now just a matter of like if he's gonna die or not. And I can assume, I mean, I'd assume that he would. Like, again, I don't know if Emilia, what? Uh, my God. Um, what did I say, Emilia? Anyway, I don't think that, Meili, my God, what the fuck? What just happened to me? Meili, I don't know. I don't think she's actually dead. I don't think she's actually dead, bro. Deadass. I think that I think that she'll probably like maybe Subaru dies and then like we like come back. I just don't know like what's gonna happen then.
To convince himself what he was doing was right, but at the very least, he found it necessary. When Subaru came across Emilia next, aside from the panic, his first thoughts were of how he was still uncertain she wasn't his killer. She definitely feigned innocence incredibly.
What? Let me go back. Let me log in. Yeah, he definitely needs like something. Yeah, bro. Psychiatrist is not gonna save him. No, 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 no. Yo, the only thing saving him is that like old Baru, the original Subaru, comes back and just takes over. Literally, no psychiatrist is gonna help him right now. I cannot basically already spoil the shit with a previous cut content by naming a future side story. Oh yeah, yeah.
When Subaru came across Emilia next, aside from the panic, his first thoughts were of how he was still uncertain she wasn't his killer. She definitely feigned innocence incredibly well, but with her and Beatrice being the only survivors of the last loop, it wasn't impossible that she hadn't killed all the others, collapsed the tower, and lopped his head off. Like, for all he knew, Emilia could have an accomplice. Believing that was more and more difficult every time Subaru talked to her, though, since her genuine compassion opened him up completely. So much so that even after lashing out over her concern for someone who was dead, her literal heartfelt response immediately filled Subaru with shame.
Like this is like imagine how he felt, bro. Like like maybe like obviously the thought of like wow, like are these like actually like my friends, are they foes, do I deserve this, right? Do I deserve this, like I like especially with like, what he just did about hiding a body, right, with the killing, like it's all a mental game at this point. Like his entire brain is just like, bro, his entire mental state is falling apart. He doesn't know what to believe. Like what does he want to believe, you know what I mean?
Who was dead, her literal heartfelt response immediately filled Subaru with shame. He had already regretted his outburst without Emilia having to do anything, but Emilia's soothing heartbeat made him feel ridiculous for even suspecting her to begin with.
And then like the greatness of EMT as well, like, will obviously make him doubt himself even more. Because Emilia, bro, she actually like I actually like really like this moment of this episode right here, bro. Like like her telling him like you're not alone. Do not try to do everything by yourself because she knows him so well. She's like, do not try to, let the burden only fall on you, bro. The issues that you have, like your problems are my problems. It's our problems. Like that was such a beautiful scene, bro. That's bro. The development of Emilia is just a sight to see, bro. EMT so strong, not even a really paranoid Subaru can keep suspecting her. Yep, that bro. EMT man, best girl, bro. What can I
Not
say?
only that, this one conversation was enough for Subaru to start questioning all his other suspicions.
Hmm.
He started to wonder whether someone was really out there trying to kill him, even going so far as to think perhaps his deaths could have all just been accidents.
See, there we go. Now he's doubting himself. He sees, bro. Here we go. Like Emilia, like how Emilia acted there. He's like, wait, are these actually like my enemies? Like, and he starts doubting himself. Now here, him getting pushed off is definitely not an accident. It's definitely not an accident. Someone definitely fucking pushed you. But at least with like the whole like thing about Emilia is yeah, he's definitely gonna start having doubts and stuff. So hold up, give me a sec here. Hold up. Okay, we're good. I think. What if Gluttony pushed him? Yeah, that was a theory. Okay, my original theory was what? Always either Meili or Gluttony. You know what I mean? Like it's either both of them, like Meili or Gluttony, because well, obviously with what we saw with Meili and obviously Gluttony trolling and also the camera, bro. Y'all remember me mentioning the camera, bro? The fucking camera, bro. The camera was like this, right? Instead of looking downwards. So I'm just like, hey, I can assume that it's like a short person, right? Meili's already clear. Well, I'm talking like Gluttony LARPing, because it could have just been Gluttony LARPing as well, you know. So that's what I mean by like if it's like Meili, you know. Like I don't know like what Gluttony was as, or like it could have just been Gluttony normally, but yeah. But yeah, no, Meili has no reason for it. But what I mean is like Gluttony, like it like what like I don't know if like Gluttony was like LARPing as someone, or it was like actually just Gluttony behind him. Like I don't know how that works, you know, like who exactly pushed him, but whatever.
Out there trying to kill him, even going so far as to think perhaps his deaths could have all just been accidents. Perhaps there wasn't anyone bad in the tower to begin with.
Mhm.
Perhaps the darkest and ugliest person here was just Subaru.
Oof.
These were the thoughts Subaru filled himself with, leading him to almost tell Emilia about everything. Because she had even gone so far as to embrace him with a hug, Subaru now felt zero reason to hide anything. Ram's arrival would unfortunately get in the way of that, and while Emilia did want Subaru to finish what he was saying, Ram's insistence meant he couldn't.
Damn.
Instead, Emilia would just have to remind Subaru to save it for later.
I think. Was this for the best? I think this was for the best, yo. Cause like, if he opened up here, what would Emilia would have done? Y'all think Emilia would have like just been like kept it to herself, or she would have snitched? Like, what would have happened? That would have been interesting. Like, if he just opened up completely, you know? Like, what if he just like opened up completely and proceeded to say like what he was gonna say and all that shit? But I really don't know what would have happened. But I mean, even then, again, like I feel like if shit just like goes, like down the like the worst path, we're just gonna fucking die anyway. She would have called everyone and tried to stop the problem. And I think she would have protected him. Yeah, probably. Right, probably like some. It could have like been some shit of like like what Ram be doing. Like Subaru wouldn't do this without a reason. Maybe Billy would have like like locked in. You know what I mean?
Instead, Emilia would just have to remind Subaru to save it for later.
I mean, unless they already know. I mean, unless like they can figure out he's in a like not like the actual Subaru, then that's different with the memory loss and stuff.
Now, It was when the two arrived at the library that Beatrice would explain that she was here to investigate Subaru's collapse.
Mm.
Not only that, with the way this library was similar to her own forbidden archive, Beatrice felt it useful to analyze it. Of course, all that meant nothing to Subaru up until the book was revealed to be Meili's. This flipped everything right on its head, since with Subaru only moments away from trusting Emilia, fate unfortunately had other plans.
Other plans, yeah.
Subaru could now only ask himself a series of whys. Questions like, why did Meili's book appear so fast, and why was it found so easily?
That was my question. Like, how the fuck did they, like, that was my question. I was like, yo, how did they find that? How did they find that shit so quickly? It spawned instantly. Like, that was instant.
Most importantly, why did it have to happen right when he was about to come clean?
Yeah.
Well, any hope of doing so was now gone, instead replaced with how to handle this new predicament. Interestingly enough, though, as tragic as it was for Meili's book to be found, Subaru was determined to see what was inside it. Since his other self was sure to make an appearance, Subaru wanted to see what that person looked like. So, when Shala suggested reading the book himself, that was the exact escape hatch Subaru was looking for. There was always the risk whatever caused him to lose his memories was still present in the archive, but with Julius having read a book and seeming fine himself, Subaru figured it was okay to chance it. Naturally, Beatrice would oppose, since with Meili being this person Subaru had grown so close to, she was worried experiencing her death would scar his heart beyond repair. His distance to her was much closer than the other Book of the Dead he read. Subaru knew he was okay to insist though, since realistically, Meili was only someone he'd known for a few hours now.
Yeah.
To him, she was just a girl he hardly knew, not someone whose death would break him. So, as Subaru opened the book to search for himself, the life that was Meili's would be presented in quite the interesting manner. A triplet of lines would repeat over and over, yet it's only the last one that ever changes.
Without knowing, oh, by the way, this backstory, bro. I mean, I also, like, talked about it in a video, like, how, like, tragic this was, man. Like, she never, like, got to experience, like, her own, like, true, like, self in a way. She was always imitating. Like, this shit was, like, yo, this is definitely, like, this, like, backstory right here is what really, like, made, I think, this episode probably, like, the best of the season so far. And who knows what's gonna happen next episode. Best of ReZero, apparently. Without knowing words, one couldn't know how to grieve. Without knowing how to walk, one couldn't know how to fight. Without knowing how to live, one had no way of finding a reason to die. Sheesh.
First, she didn't know how to live, so had no way of finding a reason to die. Then she learned how to live and didn't think to die. Then finally, after being taken by Elsa, because she didn't know anywhere else to live, that's when she couldn't find a reason to die.
Because she didn't know anywhere else to live but there, she couldn't even find a reason to die. That's fucking deep, bro.
Then, after having watched Elsa die over and over again, never once did she think that she would actually die. It was when she finally did that her inability to grieve and her inability to fight left her wondering if her life actually had any value.
That makes so much sense. Holy shit. Technically, Elsa, like, yeah, I guess, like, Elsa had, like, like, the whole, like, technically, like, many lives shit. And then once she actually died, and then, like, Meili notices, like, she didn't, like, have those feelings of, like, grieving and, like, sadness and all that shit. She didn't know what to feel. She was just merely imitating. And hell, if you're imitating Elsa, you definitely are not gonna feel anything close to, like, sadness or remorse or anything like that. Damn.
It was when she finally did that her inability to grieve and her inability to fight left her wondering if her life actually had any value. You see, to her, she was always just some defective product. In a way, Elsa was too, and that was mostly why they fit so well together. It was when this person she mimicked was finally gone, though, that after a bit of time, Meili's soul finally made its own plea. Before, she had always lived doing as others wished her to live, but it was here in this cell that Meili decided to walk her own path. Or at least see where choosing her own path might take her. At the root of all that was one single question, and that was what she should do since she was the reason Elsa died. That's the answer Meili was looking for here in the library, discreetly so until she was caught.
Yeah, she was trying to figure bro, cause like she was trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Like it's hard to try and like figure out like what your path is going to be and who you truly are if you never had that in the first place, bro.
As we saw, she obviously didn't want to be seen, but what might not have been clear was just how much she didn't want to be seen.
Okay.
Not only did she go back fully intent on killing Subaru, she had even considered using everything she'd set up around the tower to wipe the slate clean. The novel doesn't specify what that is, but I can only assume it's a bunch of mob beasts ready to strike and take out everyone.
Oh shit. What? She got bro, she got mob beast on standby? What? Wait, run that back. What?
She didn't want to be seen. Not only did she go back fully intent on killing Subaru, she had even considered using everything she'd set up around the tower to wipe the slate clean. The novel doesn't specify what that is, but I can only assume it's a bunch of mob beasts ready to strike and take out everyone.
Holy shit.
In any case, with whoever this Subaru was seeing right through Meili's act, his words of helping Meili see what she wanted really resonated with her. All she wanted was to know what she wanted and what she should do next, so with Subaru offering exactly that, she was eager to finally get the answer. Unfortunately, that eagerness would lead to her death, all because of some made-up rule set. We don't know what those rules are, but in an additional line not shown in the anime, Subaru would be removing Meili knowing full well she'd be there in the next loop.
Oh my god. What? This time you're on they fucking did it again. They said it again. This time you're on a rule infraction, but I'm looking forward to bigger things from you next time. And yeah, also like the stuff about the rule set. Like what is the rule set? What rules are like what rules are they talking about? Like like what are like the rules for like the murder of that Natsuki Subaru did, bro? Yeah, I don't know what this like entire rule talk is, bro. Like that, bro. They just like want like a like content like done correctly, bro. How does this work?
Because of some made-up rule set. We don't know what those rules are, but in an additional line not shown in the anime, Subaru would be removing Meili knowing full well she'd be there in the next loop.
Jesus.
Whoever this Subaru was, they were very excited to let Meili know how high their expectations were for her next time. Of course, Meili didn't understand any of what Subaru was saying, but what she did know was that she was being killed. Her last thoughts questioned whether her life had meaning or not, followed by the rage she felt knowing Subaru was killing her. It was when she got to the end of her rope that her final thought was that she'd kill him. So all this was an interesting look into Meili herself.
Her last thought, like her last line was, "I'll kill you." Shit, bro. When I read these chapters, I had a theory that in fact Subaru's not owned by Gluttony, but by someone else. By someone else? That's not like okay, but like if it's not Gluttony, who would it be? And it just seems like Gluttony because of like the savoring and like like the way that it was like being said and all that, you know. Flugel, son, bro, bro, Flugel. What Flugel from the depths of fucking nowhere, just like controlling Subaru, or maybe, I mean, I wouldn't put it past ReZero. Listen, I'm not gonna act like it's crazy because I want to put it past ReZero to do some shit like that. That would be fucking crazy if it's actually Flugel.
It was when she got to the end of her rope that her final thought was that she'd kill him. So all this was an interesting look into Meili herself. I guess she isn't as trustworthy as we initially thought since she was fully ready to kill Subaru here.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew she was sus, bro. She's on the sus list since like episode whoa, episode 8, I think, bro. When like Subaru got pushed out, bro. I was like, nah, bro. Yo, she's on the sus list then. Yeah, I mean, but it's like it's not fully like I wouldn't like fully put the blame on her, and it's not like her life has been the best either. You know what I mean? Like everything that led up to that moment was just horrible, and she out of her control, bro. From the beginning, she was cooked, man. Like just like the fact that like she could never like feel anything for herself, bro.
It's at this point the novel stops referring to Subaru as Subaru and instead just calls him this. That's because Subaru's memories were so mixed with Meili's that until those memories leaked out, he would continue to be this amalgamation of both.
Wait, the white squares. So that's what happened in episode 9. That's what happened in episode 9. Wait. Episode 9, these white squares showed up in the AniNews content, right, that he mentioned, right? And it's because of the, like, the mixed personality? Wait, so, like, that just, like, went to show that, like, gluttony or, like, whatever it was, like, in him. Like, whatever it be, gluttony or, like, you know, what's possessing him. It was pretty much just entailed from there. Because, like, I was obviously, like, confused about the white squares or whatever the fuck, like, what was happening here, right? Oh, wow. Yeah, this was literally just shown, bro.
Just calls him this. That's because Subaru's memories were so mixed with Meili's that until those memories leaked out, he would continue to be this amalgamation of both. Even his manner of speech was this weird combination of both his and Meili's. The novel then portrays Subaru's mind as this incoherent mess, a blurred line of names all melted together, unsure how to interact with each other.
Whoa, what is this? Dark, 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 deep, deep, deep in the back of his mind. I, me, I, who, you, Subaru Natsuki, Meili Portrut, Kenichi Natsuki. Whoa! Kenichi Natsuki mentioned? Elsa Groundhill, Nahoko Natsuki mentioned as well, Petra, Emilia, Shala, Betty, Frederick. Everyone. The blue haired. I don't know why it's so funny to me. The blue haired. Who? Someone. Me, you, I, me, someone, I, you, I. Me, I, super. Okay. Wow. All right. Yo, this is killing me. The blue haired. Wow. Okay, so this shows how fucking, like, fucked over his mind was. But that's interesting that his, like, parents were mentioned. Like, no, like, mine is cooked.
Both his and Meili's. The novel then portrays Subaru's mind as this incoherent mess, a blurred line of names all melted together, unsure how to interact with each other. One could only be oneself, yet for Subaru here, he was yet to establish the line dictating that.
Yeah.
So, if he was gonna reclaim his identity, he first needed to extract it from the blend that it was stuck in.
Mm-hmm.
What that meant is that all the right memories, impressions, and feelings needed to be plucked out. They had to be picked extremely carefully too, otherwise what would remain of him wouldn't actually be him anymore. Unfortunately, Subaru wasn't sure what was even his anymore, so what awoke after the book was yet another version of himself.
Yet another version of himself. My god. Like, this is fucking horrible. And, you know, y'all remember, like, what was mentioned as well of the whole, like, if he, like, killed someone, and then the Book of the Dead appeared, right? And he could, like, figure out who he really was. That, bro, I'm gonna be honest, that would also just not work. Seeing the experiences and, like, I guess, like, quote unquote, going through them, like, in the, like, the book, like, as, like, memories and shit, just isn't the same as, like, actually going through them. Like, even if he, like, found out, like, who he was and, like, why do, like, if, like, the people are, like, allies or, like, the experiences that happen, it's just not gonna be the same at all. It's just not gonna be the same.
Subaru wasn't sure what was even his anymore, so what awoke after the book was yet another version of himself. One now combined with Meili. So, Subaru and Meili were now this mixed bag of identities, the novel referring to them interchangeably.
Ugh, that's horrible. See, but, like, but here's the thing. So what happens when he dies? He's still gonna have that with him. And it might be even worse if he dies and he sees Meili alive. Bro. Yo. If he dies and he sees Emilia, oh hell nah, bro. It's actually just gonna get fucking worse from here.
It was when the group decided to go look for Meili after that Oridina would suggest Subaru read the book again. If he missed who killed Meili the first time, then all he needed to do was make it to the end the second time.
Oh.
Well, that was enough to make Beatrice scold Oridina, making her shout all in defense of Subaru.
Wait, you didn't see? That's crazy. Wait, Subaru, you didn't see like the ending? Like you couldn't get to the ending? Oh, okay, just read it again. Yo, bro, fuck that, man.
Immediately, Oridina would say the equivalent of just kidding, framing her suggestion as a test of Subaru's resolve.
Oh, really?
She said that even if Subaru did say yes, because of the danger of mixing memories, she wasn't actually gonna let him.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she was just trying to test Subaru's resolve. Okay, I mean, maybe he would have actually done it if, like, like old Subaru. I mean, old Subaru did some crazy shit, so I wouldn't put it past him.
They were words that Beatrice could only hope was true. So, when all was said and done, within Subaru's body there now existed 3 personalities.
3 personalities, bro. Pack me up, bro. Pack me up. No psychiatrist is helping me, bro. Pack me up. And even then, if I get packed up, if you got returned by death, you just you just come back anyway. You can't get packed up, bro. Like, bro, this is horrible. It's just infinite. It's just infinite torture. It's crazy because you know how like people like like the saying of like just put me out of my misery. Subaru can't even do that. Subaru's the only person that can't say put me out of my misery. I'd rather be dead. My fucking god, bro. Like that. Like he's just stuck like that forever, bro. Oh my god.
All was said and done.
But yeah, I think old Subaru would have definitely like gone back in that book and just done it again. It's probably.
Within Subaru's body there now existed 3 personalities. 2 Subarus and a Meili.
Yo. Dude, he's fucking losing it, bro. Yo, bro.
Each had a wish of their own, and all those wishes were currently at odds with each other. So, with each fighting for dominance and each trying to grasp a future for their own self, the one that prevailed was the one that told Shala to take care of it. Now, Subaru's question to Beatrice actually has several layers to it, since with the Subaru she was so nice to being the same Subaru who killed Meili, killed Elsa, covered up his own death, and did so much worse, the other Subaru just couldn't understand why. Remember, with the Meili of the book ending her life wanting to kill Subaru, this disdain towards Subaru was doubled since now 2 personalities disliked him.
Yeah.
They could only wonder why everyone else saw him in such high regard.
It's even worse now. Like he was already wondering like, man, like why do these people like care for me? Like what did I do for them, bro? Now it's like even more it's worse. How do you, bro, he got 3 personalities and 2 of them hate you, bro.
That in turn transformed into a burning envy, one that consumed everything that was Subaru. Or perhaps I should say Meili now. Well, normally one could never understand exactly who another person was, but after experiencing the very essence of Meili the way he did, everything from how she lived down to her beliefs and her philosophies were all laid bare for Subaru to absorb into himself. It's for that reason he now knew the genuine Meili, including the fact there was someone that she cared deeply for. Not only that, Subaru also came to see how her heart was broken when that person was taken from her.
Yeah, and it's just even worse because it's not even just the fact that like he like saw and like the memories of like what she experienced. It's the fact that he pretty much lived through them. Like he like it's like the closest thing you'll get to like actually being there, like in the past and like experiencing what she did. It's like second place. Obviously, first place is just actually being there and experiencing. But like the Book of the Dead, it seems like it's like kind of like almost there, bro. Because like the fact that like he like his pretty much his mind is like merging with Meili's, like that's just how like fucking like crazy the effect of the Book of the Dead is, and like how like wild it feels to like actually be in there, you know?
He saw her confusion on how to feel when it came to the people who stole her from her. That's why Meili sought out Elsa's book, because that to her would help her better understand what she really felt.
Mm-hmm.
That and everything else Subaru was now aware of, so if the Book of the Dead could help him understand Meili like that, then perhaps another could help him understand Subaru. Just like how Meili was searching for the answer on how to feel about everyone, so too was Subaru looking for the same. Whether he should love or hate someone, Subaru believed the answer was here in the archive.
Damn.
Now, put it.
Yeah, I mean, also like, I mean, it was never confirmed, bro. Like, what would happen? Like, it would be interesting if like the books of like Subaru were actually there, but like again, it just like wouldn't like work because of like the looping thing. Like, man, the fact that like it hasn't been confirmed yet, like is it like the time like everything like resets like or like the timeline keeps going? Like that's such an interesting like bro, that shit was mentioned in season 2. And then we're just like, well, I don't know. Does it? Like it would be crazy to think that like for example, like the Meili timeline of her dying like that, it keeps going. Or like it just like yeah, pretty much ends where like Subaru dies, right? I guess. Or no, it like keeps going after Subaru dies, my bad. Like, the thought of that is so fucking crazy, but, like, otherwise, we just, like I don't think we'll ever see, like, a Subaru book because like, it just goes back to before he dies, so, you know?
To feel about everyone.
That's why, like, the killing someone else and seeing their book is, like, the closest thing he could do, but obviously, he didn't do it last episode, but
So too was Subaru looking for the same. Whether he should love or hate someone, Subaru believed the answer was here in the archive.
yep.
Now, putting Meili's book back didn't really matter, as according to Beatrice, the order of the archive changed every time they entered. So, just because they found a book once, didn't mean that they'd be able to find it again.
Mhm.
Fast forward now to the green room, and Beatrice's reaction to Subaru's wounds made it seem like these were a normal thing. Not in a way that made it seem like they came from training or fighting, but rather that it was natural for Subaru to mutilate himself.
Yep. I think bro, I'm actually, like, very, glad that the anime actually showed this. Like, obviously, I've heard about it. Obviously, everyone has told me like about like the Subaru self harm and like what he does like in his sleep. Right? He's like sleeping on his sleep, and like Betty like comforts him and like heals him in his sleep. Like that's so sad. Like that's so sad. Like this poor guy, man. My goat has gone through so much, man. You know, and I'm just like I'm glad that like the anime like at least like mentioned it like yo like this is like what Subaru goes through, right, in terms of like his self-harm and like what he does to himself, right, and with all of his traumas and everything that's been going on, like yeah, the story like this it's all about listen, it's all about like love, right, memories, right, the willing to accept the help and love of others, right, and the fact that like Subaru's story is like pretty much based off of that is awesome, you know what I mean, like more people like the more of like the acceptance of help of other people, the love of other people, right, and him loving other people, and hell, even loving himself because of like how much he also like has like this like feeling of self-hatred for himself, so I am very glad that like they at least like showed it in the anime, even though it was like a little line, so like maybe like people miss it or like maybe people don't, but I think I'm very glad that like at least it was like mentioned.
In a way that made it seem like they came from training or fighting, but rather that it was natural for Subaru to mutilate himself. When Subaru started freaking out during this, it's because his aggressive thoughts were starting to dissipate. Meili's personality had stepped in to change that, reminding Subaru that if he was going to achieve his goal, he'd need to kill Beatrice. That's why Subaru said no, since for a moment, his more reasonable self was rejecting the negative feedback loop he'd been slipping into. He was even ready to confess should Meili's body be found, but fortunately for him, it never was.
Yep, it was never found. Yo, shout out to Shala. Bro, I'm so dead, bro. Yo, Shala was like, all right, master, I got you, bro. I got you. I know what happened. I got you, man. But even then, it doesn't matter because Ram was on cams, bro. She was campy security, bro, and caught Subaru venting, so,
Yes, should Meili's body be found, but fortunately for him, it never was. It was later when Aridina casually dropped the news that time was of the essence that she would also follow it up with a statement surprisingly relatable. While yes, just existing as Anastasia was in fact killing her, There was also the revolting feeling of residing within a container not meant to fit her.
Mm.
To Aretina, she felt like she was just borrowing someone's appearance, and the longer she did, the worse it felt.
Oof. I mean, yeah. You're a fox, bruh. Bro, you're a fox. Bro, you're a fox, then you're a scarf, and then you're a person. And then you're a person for a while. Like, that also, like, fucks you up, bruh.
Well, in a way, that's exactly what Subaru was going through, so with the contents of his body not matching the container they were currently residing in, Aretina's words really resonated with him.
Yeah, Rinda actually, like, her words, like, her words actually hit super, like, damn, relatable.
It was after deciding to continue conquering the tower that only Emilia would commit herself to searching for Meili still.
Mm.
That to her was what was most important, so that was what she was going to do. It was after Subaru's bold lie telling the group that this is what Meili would have wanted that, as a quick aside, that's when the novel would explain the murder is a habit quote.
Wow.
The famous detective in question was Hercule Poirot, and the essence of it was pretty much as Subaru said. The moment someone considers murdering someone who need not be killed, already they've made too grave of a mistake.
Man.
Even if the first time they killed wasn't because they wanted to, and even if they despised the very act of killing, because it was a solution that they're now considering again, murder was now a habit.
What a tough title, bro. What a tough title drop.
A habit that becomes harder and harder to shake the more times it happens. This, I think, is a good place to end since what happens next leads into the next chapter.
Oh boy.
For now, I hope you enjoyed learning more about this one, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and comment.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on too, since that's the best way to know when my videos are out.
Peak. Yep. And we will see what happens next. I mean, this is pretty much it, right? This is like, I think this is the last video of like cut content and stuff like that before the episode, I think, right? We already did the episode, break time, Ekinut, AniNews now. I mean, I think that I got a couple like, ReZero videos that like, I think like, like that I can post, but overall, like for content of the episode itself, yeah, that's it. I am very excited, scared, worried. I don't know what to feel for next episode. The hype is unreal, but for this episode, episode 10, Murder is a Habit, was peak. Absolutely loved it. The personality, like, problems, right? 3 personalities residing within Subaru, and the Meili backstory. Like, this entire episode was just stacked, and best of the season for sure. But yeah, that is going to be it for today, man. If y'all enjoyed and you're new, subscribe, leave a like down below, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys.